Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to bringing Division video. What have I guys today are the top 3 best PvP builds right now. Now as you guys know, every single day there is a lot of videos going on YouTube saying the best build for this, the best build for that, and I'm not gonna lie, those videos are very helpful, including myself. I post them a lot, pretty much every single week. I categorize them into like solo builds, dark zone builds, PvE builds, last stand builds, anything like that. You can categorize them into that. But overall, I wanted to make one video showing guys the best builds right now for PvP, especially for anyone that's returning to the game or is planning to playing the game in 1.8. This is a video I hope is very useful and it kind of helps you out making a build for PvP, either if it's a dark zone or last stand. This is something I strongly believe is very good in the game right now, and it most likely will be in 1.8, according to my testings and playing around with these builds in 1.8 on the PTS. They are still very good and still very reliable in PvP. So if you guys enjoyed this video or find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for my videos, and without further ado, let's get right into this. Now before I begin, I do want to say I apologize if I sound a little bit weird and a little bit off. I've been having the worst cold for the past like 3-4 days. It's going away, but my nose is still stuffed up and a headache has been pretty much constant for the past like 2 days, so I'm getting better, but I do apologize if I sound a bit off. But anyways, the first build I want to show you guys is this. Now, as you guys can see, this is more of a PvP solo build, I would say. If you're planning on playing the Dark Zone or Last Stand solo and you don't want to really rely on teammates, you want to survive your own gunfights and kind of take on multiple people at once, this is a build I would recommend making. What it consists of is my lightweight M4 with adept, responsive, competent, and then also a secondary SMG. Now, you guys can use pretty much whatever weapon you want. That's not really what matters about this build. What matters is actually the gear, and what I'm using is a barrage chest piece, refreshed mask, 2 classified gear pieces, which are the knee pads and holster. Then I also do have the Skull MC gloves and a specialized backpack. And as I said, this is something I use pretty much all the time whenever I'm solo in the Dark Zone or Last Stand. It's really good balanced wise and damage wise. As you guys can see, I'm sitting at 327 DPS, 308 toughness, and 209 skill power. So my heals are very, very good, and especially since I'm using overheal, or overdose I should say, my healing is pretty much insane, and from the last bar I can get a full overshield very easily with this much skill power. I'm actually going to show you guys a few clips in the background right now of me getting kills with this build, and overall, it's not the most amount of damage you can do with a lightweight M4. You can obviously spec more into firearms, but the balance between firearms, stamina, and electronics on this build, and especially with the barrage chest piece, is very helpful, as I said, whenever you're solo. The next build I do have for you guys is probably the most overused build in Last Stand, in my opinion. Like, whenever you go in Last Stand, the majority of people are using this build if they're not using a high-end / exotic build. But what it is 1 vigorous chest, 2 banshee, 2 tactician, and a ninja bike backpack. Now the reason this build is so good is because you can get a lot of skill haze and a lot of skill power on your build, which makes your pulls and your booster shot very, very strong, and that's pretty much the main source of your damage, I would say. Your healing is pretty much insane even with a booster shot. You get your skills very quickly, and your pulls and your booster shot give you a lot of damage towards this build. And you of course have a little bit of firearms. I'm sitting at 5900. You can even go a little bit lower and go into electronics a bit more. So pretty much what I have on it is the same weapons, lightweight M4, MP5, and then I also spec'd a lot into skill haze on this build. The reason I don't have 50% skill haze on it is because my gloves actually don't have skill haze. But besides that, everything is into skill haze and you get your skills really quickly. Like I get my booster shot in 21 seconds, my pulls in 21 seconds as well. You guys can even use a immune station for extra healing and you get it back in 15 seconds, which is pretty insane. But as I said, if you ask anyone that grinds Last Stand a lot, this is one of the best builds you can use to get a lot of kills or go for a lot of score in that game mode and pretty much dominate the lobby. The final build I do have for you guys is my Predator's Mark crit chance build. As you guys can see, what it consists of is 3 Predator's Mark, Savage Gloves, Ninja Bike Backpack, and a vigorous chest piece. Now the reason I did go with this build, and the reason a lot of people use this build right now, is because it kind of throws off the strafing and it kind of makes your enemy panic. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually use Predator's Mark on a daily basis, but whenever you use it and whenever you make someone bleed, especially in Last Stand, they kind of panic and either they use their medkit right away or they don't have medkits and their strafing, kind of like slows down, and it's a little bit easier to hit your bullets, especially if you're playing some people that are, doing the ENAS thing, going left and right. It can get a little bit annoying. They can still do it when they're bleeding, but it's not as fast and it helps out your accuracy, your aim, and you're going to kill them obviously a little bit quicker the more bullets you land. Now the reason I did go a little bit more into crit chance on this build is to pretty much just do a little bit more damage, and most of the people I have been asking that have been using Predator Mark in Last Stand a lot always told me to use a bit more crit chance. I don't know why, but it's personal preference. You guys can probably roll off crit chance on your mask, go into skill power, and use a little bit more skill power for your heals. But as I said, this is another build I would recommend using for Last Stand, or even in Dark Zone if you want to use something a little bit different. And in my opinion, this is a top tier build. Anyways, that pretty much concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I respond to my comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Tactical boost can be activated. Noise multiplier is go. Tactical boost is active. Charlie's confirmed neutral. That's a win for our side.